You know, it's kind of crazy to think about, but how powerful are your thoughts, really? Well, we're going to dive into a story today that shows us something pretty profound. Our mindset, it doesn't just nudge our reality around, it literally builds it. So, let's jump right in. And you know, this whole idea is summed up perfectly by this classic quote from Napoleon Hill. You've probably heard of his book, Think and Grow Rich. What you think about, you become. So simple, right? But so deep. It's basically saying the entire blueprint for your life. I mean, everything. Your wins, your losses, it all starts right up here in your head. Okay. But let's be honest for a second. If it was that simple, wouldn't we all be successful? I mean, really, if our thoughts are the magic key, then what's the deal? Why do so many of us still struggle? That is the big question, right? And believe me, the story we're about to get into, it has a pretty amazing answer. All right, so let's set the stage. Picture this, a super busy, chaotic railway station. And right in the middle of it all, that's where we meet our main character. He's a beggar, and his entire life, day in and day out, is about relying on whatever strangers are willing to give him. So one day, he sees this guy, you know the type, sharp suit, walks with purpose, just looks successful, the perfect person to ask. So he goes up to him, holds out his hand, expecting the usual, a few coins, a quick glance of pity. But what happens next? Yeah, it's not what he expected at all. He doesn't get a coin, he gets a question, and it's a sharp one. A question that just completely shatters his whole routine. Can you imagine the whiplash? One second you're asking for help, the next your entire existence is being put under a microscope. And his answer is, well, it's pretty much what you'd think. He's confused, a little defensive, and you see, that's the key right there. It's not just what he does, it's who he believes he is. In his own mind, he has zero value to offer. He is a beggar. And what do beggars do? They take, they don't give. That's his whole world. But this businessman, he's running on completely different software. Now, he's not trying to be a jerk. He just sees the world through a different lens. It's all about a fair exchange of value, not just one-way charity. And then, poof, he gets on his train and he's gone, leaving our beggar just standing there, mind completely blown. And that one little conversation, it's like a seed was planted. The beggar just can't get those words out of his head. He's being forced to look at everything in a way he never has before. This is where it all starts to change. Not out there in the station, but in his mind. So for the next few days, he's not even begging. He's just thinking. Tossing and turning at night, this single idea is forcing him to completely reevaluate everything. He's wrestling with it, How can you give when you truly believe you have absolutely nothing? And this is the perfect way to see the mental battle going on inside his head. On the one hand, you've got the taker mindset. That's his whole life up to now. His identity, beggar. His action, just asking. The result, pity. But now there's this other option, the giver mindset. Identity, trader. Action, offering something of value. And the result, respect. He's literally standing at a crossroads in his own mind. And then he gets it. An idea hits him like a lightning bolt. He looks over and sees this little patch of wildflowers growing by the tracks. I mean, to anybody else, they're just weeds, right? But to him, in that moment, they are everything. They're the answer. This is what he can give. So this is where things really start to take off. This tiny shift in his thinking leads to a huge shift in his reality. He's not just a taker anymore. He's part of an exchange. And you know what? People are totally responding to it. Just check out how this unfolds. Step 1 is the exchange itself. He offers a flower for every coin he gets. Simple. Then step 2, he starts noticing a pattern. When he has flowers to offer, he gets more donations. Interesting. Step 3 is the big light bulb moment. He realizes people like getting something in return, and that leads to the final most crucial step, his new identity. He stops seeing himself as a beggar. He's a businessman, a vendor. And then, talk about fate. He sees him again, the same businessman. But this time is different. He doesn't go up with his hand out, no way. He runs over, full of excitement, and offers to sell him flowers. And the businessman? He buys them. And what the businessman says next is just wow. It's the final piece of the puzzle. I mean, it's one thing to believe it yourself, but to hear it from the person who challenged you in the first place, that just cements everything. It's proof that the change inside is now real on the outside too. So, with that validation, his new identity is locked in. He makes a huge move. He leaves the station for good. But wait, the story isn't over. Not even close. In fact, the most incredible part is still to come.
Fast forward 6 months. We're back at that same railway station. But everything's changed. The weather's different, the crowds are different, and so is our guy. Man, has he changed.
So our businessman is there, and he bumps into another well-dressed guy. He looks at him, and there's something familiar, but he just can't put his finger on it. The transformation is so complete, he's basically a different person.
And then, the big reveal. Can you believe it? The guy standing in front of him, looking sharp and successful, is the same man. He's not just surviving anymore, he's thriving, even traveling to grow his company. He didn't just tweak his habits, he completely changed the course of his life.
And he gives all the credit to the businessman. He finally understood that the secret was never about the money, it was about creating value. And the craziest part? He was never really a beggar to begin with. He was a businessman waiting to happen. He just had to see it for himself.
And that brings us right back to where we started. This whole story is just such a powerful example of how our world on the outside is just a mirror of what's going on inside. If you see yourself as someone with nothing to offer, well, that's what your reality will be. But the moment you start to see the value you can create, man, the possibilities are just endless. So I'm going to leave you with the very same question that changed everything for that beggar. Forget about what you think you don't have for a second. Think about what you do have. It could be a skill, a good idea, just a moment of kindness. Maybe it's your own version of a wildflower. So what do you have to give? Because I promise you, whatever that is, that's the starting point of your own amazing story.